Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Welcome to another episode of Moving Encounters of the Unknown. I am your host, Carolina, and this is episode 3. So glad to have you guys back. If you're new, just make sure to subscribe and like this video as well. So today we are truly blessed to have such an amazing, kind, and unique spirit join us today. His name is Ricardo Noriega, and he is a shamanic practitioner. We're going to be discussing a variety of topics: the tarot, oracle cards, spirit guides, shamanism, all of those things. And so I will go ahead and, just kick it off. Ricardo, how are you? Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's truly an honor.
Of course. Absolutely. And so Ricardo and I were just talking about this before starting the show. We were talking about basically how this entire thing came to be. So there's a store in Raleigh. It's called Dancing Moon. And, you can go get a variety of things. And they have crystals, books, and tarot, and just everything, you name it, they have it there. So I went to get a book. There's a big, just huge bookshelf right there where the books are, full of business cards from top to bottom, hundreds of them. And the first one that just popped out at me was Ricardo's card. So got home, saw that he actually does work over at Dancing Moon, does readings, just a variety of services that he provides. And so here we are, and so happy that we were able to make this happen, Ricardo. But yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself to the viewers and, what it is that you do.
All right. Well, I am a shamanic practitioner, like you said, and I'm at Dancing Moon once a month. But I also have 2 locations in Raleigh where I do this out of, and another location in Cary. I do have a normal job, I guess you would say. So I mostly do that in the morning during the week, and then on the weekends I'm pretty open. And I'm also an intuitive card reader. I use tarot cards and oracle cards as well.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. So tell me a little bit about how you got started with the tarot, and just in general, if we could just hear a little bit of background and what it was that drew you to the tarot, what it was that drew you to your guides, and just in general, just from the beginning. So where did that all stem from?
Yeah, it's funny. I've always been drawn to tarot cards. I bought my first deck when I was about 12 or 13. I went to the drugstore. It was a little red deck. The witch's deck or something. It's orange with a black silhouette of a witch and a cauldron. And I've always been drawn to that, even as a child, even like 5 or 6 or 7, and always drawn to like ghosts and metaphysical things. And I even remember as a child, every time I would like put up a force field, I'd use my hands, like,
Yeah.
And I think it's just something from my lineage.
And your lineage, tell us about that.
Oh, okay. Well, my parents or my relatives are from Mexico, and shamanism does run in our family. Although I never knew that until just recently. I was born in Michigan, and we lived in the suburbs of Detroit, so we were trying not to stand out as much as possible, and doing shamanic things. We couldn't do that.
Oh, okay.
Although I have, I guess one day I went out and there was a sick bird or a dying bird, and I picked it up, and, it got healthy and flew away. And my mother asked me, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, the bird's sick. I'm making it feel better." She goes, "No, we don't do that here. We can't do that here."
Oh, wow.
So she kind of, shut it down pretty quick. But it was just so natural for us.
Sure. Yeah, no, absolutely. That's really kind of amazing because with people just in general that I have had conversations with who also have, their own unique abilities, there's always that point in time where someone tries to discourage us from using those gifts that we just so naturally have. And I feel like when that happens, that if you try to suppress it, it just comes back even stronger because there's no hiding it. So did you have, was there ever a point in time where you felt like you did have to just suppress those feelings? And when you did, how did that, come back and manifest to you?
Oh, yeah, many times. The friends I had growing up, they were very science based, very fact, black, white, on off, ones and zeros type people, and there was no gray, and they just kept telling me that no, it's not real. It's all a trick. It's all body language and lucky guesses, things like that. So I did shut it off, but I kept getting drawn back to it, and even recently, and throughout my life, there has been times where I'm like, you know what, this is crap. This ain't real. This is, why am I wasting my life? Why am I wasting my time? And about 2-3 days later, I just get pulled back into it. That urge is just so strong that I just can't deny it.
Absolutely. It is, me personally too. I have always been, so I'm originally from Lima, Peru. That's where I was born.
Oh.
And so I speak Spanish to my family.
Yeah.
All of my family's there, and I moved to the US whenever I was 6. But from a very young age, I've always been fascinated with everything having to do with the paranormal, or, just all of these types of mysteries. And I think it just takes a unique person and a certain type of person, it's because when I'll just go down the rabbit hole with it. It's so interesting and fascinating, and it's like you can never get enough of it. And so, as far as the tarot and how you started to use the cards, and I know you said that's awesome that you bought your cards in the gas station or whatnot.
Yeah.
Love that. And so whenever you picked up that deck for the first time and took it with you, what were your feelings there right before you, opened it up? And, were you already knowledgeable about how to start readings, or, what did you do just picking up the deck for the first time?
Oh, I was just so excited. Like, I'm finally going to have answers, and I'm going to know things, and I'm going to tap into the other world of, of these great mystics and whatnot. And I was reading the book and trying to understand it, and that's one thing. If you're starting to learn to read cards, especially tarot cards, don't rely on the book a whole lot. Use your instincts.
Yeah.
It's a good pushing point, like a good place to go, good direction to go. But don't look at the definitions, because that'll just trip you up. And I was, and I was just doing it, and it just, God, I played with them nonstop for weeks on it.
Yeah.
Myself in my room, and I just kept playing with it, and it was just amazing.
That's awesome. And so, with that being said, as far as how you receive certain information, and because on your Instagram page, I honestly just, your words, the way that you explain the cards, and it's just so profound and just eloquent, and just, I don't know, it's just the way that you are writing and the things that you're saying, the way that you say them. And so, and you guys, I am going to, all of his information is in the description. So you can, if you want to follow him on Instagram, I will have that link there for you guys as well. But yeah, so as far as that goes, do you work with, spirit guides? Do you have guides or that help assist you through it?
It's funny. when I'm writing up my messages, like my card of the day or my reading of the week or what have you, I just kind of look at it and and the words just come out. I don't even think about it; they just come pouring out. So like, I mean, in the beginning, I'll say a little prayer, set my intention, get a nice clear message out for whoever needs it, and I call upon the Archangel Gabriel to help me with the messages. It just comes out. I hate to say it, but I normally don't talk that way. I'm not a very eloquent speaker.
So do the messages just, come in as thoughts, or, does it more happen when you're just seeing all of the cards in general, or, because like you said, it just kind of just comes to you. So, as far as giving a reading to someone, so you have a reading, they're about to come and you have it all in your calendar, they're about to come in, so as far as the person that you're reading, like before you do any types of readings, are you able to just sense and kind of get an idea of like who they are individually, or is there anything that comes to you as far as like their energy and or anything like that that may give you kind of some insight into what the cards may look like beforehand?
No, I'll sit in meditation and just I'll sit in silence and just see what comes to me and write them down. Try to tap into their energy. If I'm driving somewhere to like Dancing Moon or here where I am right now at the Soma Wellness Collective, I have to make sure I say that. I'll give them a little plug. I will drive in silence. It's like a 20-minute drive, and I'll just drive in silence and just see if any messages come through, if I get any feelings from the person coming in. But I normally don't pick them up as strong like that. It's more when they're sitting in front of me or I'm actually in their energy space. And then that's when a lot of the downloads will come in.
Awesome. So me personally, I have 2 decks. I've shuffled them. I've shuffled them and shuffled them. But I am, kid you not, I'm like terrified to do it. I'm just like psyching myself out.
Oh, okay.
Don't know why. Because I feel like, okay, like everything has to be perfect. Like the mood has to be right. Like my energy has to be right. My mind has to be right. Everything has to just, I'm like a perfectionist, right? And then I also at first had to battle, okay, well, what if I open up some, dark energy that's coming in and stuff like that. So for people who may be a little bit scared about that, or someone like me who's just kind of psyching themselves out, like how should you, connect to the cards, and how should you set intentions? And is there anything in particular, like as far as the cards that we draw for ourselves, not just for others, but when we're drawing things for ourselves, is there anything to really be fearful about?
Well, the first thing you need to do, and it's very, very important, is protect yourself. Surround yourself in white light. Set your intention, say a little prayer, call upon whoever your spirit guides or guardian angels or Archangel Michael or whoever to come in and fill your space with love and light, and if you can, burn some sage or Palo Santo or something like that, so it's nice and cleansed. And then after that, just the messages will come through, and if they're positive messages or if the messages are set in a positive way, then they're coming from the guides or for your greater good. Because anything else, any negative messages or things like that is not from the light. So
okay,
but normally you'll be okay. And another thing, reading for yourself is very, very hard.
Oh, really?
You throw it and you want it to fit the question that you ask. Like, oh, it means this. This is what it means. Yes. But
I think that's why also I am scared to read for myself, is because I'm not ready for what it's going to say. I'm probably not going to like it very much. I'm like, what if I draw something and I just don't want to know it? So I'm just not going to do it yet. But
well, that's that message is going to get through somehow, some way.
sure.
Whether it's through the cards, or through your dreams, or intuitions, or your thoughts, or something. Somehow, some way, that message is going to get through. And always know it's for your greater good.
Yeah, and dreams in general too. I think those are some of the most. Just dreams are a really powerful thing, and
they are.
Yeah, I mean, we have dreams that are just dreams, but then, I also believe that as far as dreams go, that if you really understand what they are, and that you can connect and have certain experiences through dreams, and so I'm really glad that you kind of hit on that, and so for people that may not understand too, what's the difference between an oracle deck and a tarot deck?
Okay, well, the tarot deck has every tarot deck, no matter what the design or the theme, has 78 cards, and there's 21 major arcana cards, which is like the major events in your life, and the other ones are like the minor arcana, and those are divided into 4 categories. One is, I'll just use the regular traditional example. There's cups, which is about emotions, because it holds water. So that's like your emotions, your subconscious. And so it always goes from 1 or an ace to a king or a royalty card. And there's swords, which has to deal with air, like communication, thoughts, things like that. Like what you're listening to, even music, things that'll affect you that way. You have your wands, which is like fire, your passion, what drives you, what keeps you going. And then the last one is the pentacles. That's what grounds you, what keeps you safe and secure. And that is in every tarot deck. The design may be different. They're going to be different. There's many different types of tarot decks. If you go to Dancing Moon, you will see many different types.
Oh yeah.
For whatever you're into, cats or dragons or LGBT community, it don't matter.
Sure.
Whereas oracle cards, those are based and designed, and the messages are from whoever designed them and authored them.
Okay.
It could have 25 cards. It could have 70 cards. It's up to the creator to how many they're there and what they mean and what they represent.
Oh, wow. I did not know that at all. Interesting. So thanks for clearing that up. I honestly had no clue. That's really cool. So whenever you're doing a reading for somebody and drawing the cards, how do you know which one to draw? I know a lot of different people do it a lot of different ways, but for you, when you're shuffling or however it is that your process is, how do you know which card it is that needs to be picked? Does it jump out at you, or what? How does that work?
Well, first of all, I have a backpack full of cards I take with me. I have many, many of them. And when I'm doing a reading, I talk to them and I'm like, okay, I think I'll need this deck, and this deck. It all depends. And I'll shuffle, and I'll hear, okay, shuffle 4 times. No, shuffle, then stop. Okay, stop. Stop. And then, okay, throw out 2, throw out 3. I'm just hearing this. I'm not even putting thought to it.
Huh.
And then I may use two decks. I may use 3. Sometimes I'll use 4. It all depends on what I feel that message needs to be and any clarifications.
Has there ever been a reading that you can recall in particular that really changed you? Is there any, specific reading that you've either done for yourself or where you just received a message from the cards that just it shaped your journey or it gave you new perspective or just any moment like that?
Actually, there's two of them. There's two that always sticks out. And I go to psychic fairs. I go to Wilmington and Virginia Beach, and
Yeah.
I was doing one. I do reading for children too. They're interested, and let's get them involved, and so they're not so bored. I was doing one for he's like 10 or 12, and as you know, the one of the cards in the deck is the death card, which doesn't mean death. It means just a transformation. You're going from one chapter to another. And I had 3 decks for this guy.
Yeah.
3 times the death card came out. I had 3 different death cards come out. I just looked at him. I go, you're going to go through a major transformation. That's all I can tell you. I mean, something's going to happen within a year. I normally don't do timelines, but it just spilled out.
Oh, wow.
It's going to change you. And I have another deck. And one of the cards is birth, and it shows like a little sprout coming out of the ground. And it means like, whatever you planted, whatever ideas you've had or plans, it's starting to, going to develop now. It's starting to come to, it's going to start to grow. And I did this for a lady, and I looked at her, and I looked at the card, I looked at her, and I looked back, and I go, are you pregnant? She goes, yeah, I think so. I go, you are pregnant.
Wow, that's incredible.
Only time I've ever said that with that card.
Wow. That's really interesting. Sorry, my watch was going off here. That's interesting. It sounds too that you use your intuition to guide you. And so it's just like a knowing that you have inside. And so, like I mentioned before, I want to go back to the guides thing because that's something that also fascinates me as well. So do you have guides, or do you, like you mentioned, you call on Archangel Michael, but do you have guides that you work with?
I do. I just call upon my spirit guides and guardian angels.
So our spirit guides say, will they remain the same for our entire life, or do we have different guides for different times?
You do have different guides for different times. However, you do have one that's with you from the beginning, and they will stay with you till the very end. But as the situation calls for, different guides will come in and go. So it changes. You could have 2 or 3 or 4 around you, or you could have 8 or 12 around you. It all depends on what you're going through.
Yeah. And so with someone who is looking to connect with their guides, how can they go about connecting with them for the first time?
I would say, be in a nice quiet space, no distractions. Listen, you can listen to music if you'd like. So, whether like nature or drums or something to put you in a nice deep trance and set the intention like, yes, I'd like to meet my spirit guide. Please show yourself to me. They may or they may not. If they don't get discouraged because it may not be time for you to meet them yet. And just sit there and, go to a place that you feel safe and secure. Mentally or,
Sure.
You're meditating. But you feel safe and secure and like, this is home. For me, it's I'm sitting on a log by a creek in the forest. That's where I go. And I meet my guides, and I've never seen my guide's face. It's always a silhouette.
Oh, wow.
He is there.
Oh, so you can see the energy as well.
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yes.
So do you see auras and stuff like that too?
No, not typically. I can just sense things like,
sure.
sense their energy and yeah.
Wow. That's really awesome. That's a great gift that you have. And so when it comes to, going into the energies side of things, could you share a little bit about the different energies that you may see or that you may sense or that someone may have? And then the second part to that would be, you know, how do you decide what that energy is and how to get clear of it?
Okay, well, I again, I said, setting your intention is very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I do. I set my intention. I get my energy going, and I kind of tap into theirs, and then I will use my hands. I kind of feel around and see if there's any blockages, or if normally for me, if it's a hot spot, I feel some heat. Okay, this area needs attention. And okay, what is it? Is it like a block? Is it physical? Is it spiritual, emotional? Is it something from a previous life? Then I ask that, and I just kind of feel around. And, is it an attachment? From like another person's attached to you, not in a bad way, but like they're just attached to you, and they're just kind of drawing on your energy. And I just kind of feel around for that. And
Interesting.
Depending what it is, I have different ways of clearing that up. It's an attachment. I have a letter opener, and I just kind of cut it and throw it away.
Yeah.
Give it to my pet jaguar. Who that's his job, to eat all the heavy negative energy. And if it's a wound from a previous life, I'll clear out the wound and sew it up. If there's any other energy, I kind of help move it along and get it flowing. It all depends on what it is.
Wow. That's awesome. That's really awesome. Yeah. Well, now all of these questions are popping into my head now. When it deals with past lives as well. So assuming, that's something that, that, like you mentioned, that you help people get rid of energies from their past lives. And so how can certain, whether it be like fears or character traits, or as far as how a past life could be affecting that person in their current life, what are some things that typically are signs that it is a past life, wound, if you want to call it that hasn't been dealt with yet, and it's manifesting now in the current life?
Okay. Well, let's go back to your example of fear of reading cards. Let's say in a past life you were a card reader, let's say, or a witch, or what have you, and you could do that, and you made herbs, but yet then you were either ran out of town, or you were killed in some way because you were doing witchcraft. So now, then you could have said something like, well, you know what, I'm not going to do this anymore because it's not good for me. It's dangerous, and you could have carried that contract over to this life. So what I'll do is I'll go back. I'll go into the lower world and see exactly what happened in the contract that you wrote, and I'll tear up the contract. And this is called a soul retrieval, and I'll bring back your soul with me.
Oh my gosh.
You also get a gift, which is always interesting to see what little gift you get in an animal, and then they go into your chakras, and then that will hopefully take away that fear or anxiety.
Oh, wow. I'm going to have to set up a healing with you, Ricardo. That's going to be next on my list. So, as far as the shamanic path and being a shaman, can you explain just in simple terms what it means to be a shaman and how it's significant? And yeah, that's basically the question.
Okay. What it means to be a shaman, or what shamanism is that it's the person that who lives in this world, but also can go to the other worlds
Mhm.
and draw upon their energies. There's three worlds. There's an upper world, a middle world, and a lower world. And they go there to get the healing that needs to be done, whether it's in the past wounds or karmic debt or trauma that they're suffering now, or call upon their spirit guides or guardian angels to come and help. And that's what they do. They go back and forth. And,
Nice. That's awesome. And so I know that, you mentioned it's in your bio as well that it comes from, you've inherited these gifts from a lineage of your ancestors. And so I know you mentioned as well that when you had to do that move and you had to kind of, your mom was like, no, don't do that. And, you can't do this here and stuff like that. So do you feel that people that are, really drawn to this subject and topic, and just like we were talking about at the beginning, do you feel like that could possibly also be something having to do with maybe their past or their ancestors and what it was that they did, and how can we tap into those things if we do have that background? And I hope that question made sense. It was kind of a little bit.
I feel, well, it's funny. That's one of the major questions now I'm getting. Like they're saying, I know I'm supposed to do more. I want to help people, and I know I need to do more. What can I do? I want to get out of this corporate world and start healing people and helping people. I feel it's like the last couple of years. I feel it's like a great awakening. I don't know if it was COVID and like they had to stay in and really reevaluate everything or what. But I feel, this is my belief, that many people have this. It was just been shut down either from a past life or what they've been taught by organized religion. That only certain people can talk to God or spirit or whatever, what have you, and you must come through us to get these messages. But I feel that we all have that ability. We can all do that.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, that's really powerful. And I completely agree. I feel that basically the same as you. And when it comes to just what we are capable of really achieving and what we are actually capable of manifesting just by thinking it. And when you are boggled down in like corporate America, which I have been, and you kind of lose touch of a lot of important, I guess, the untangible things in life that are important as well. And so let me ask you this. This is a little bit off topic, but I want to mention it to you because you said something just now where you said, we're kind of going through a shift, and if you want to call it a paradigm shift, like just an awakening period, especially after COVID, where everyone, we were all just hibernating to ourselves and had a lot of time to just like ponder. And so I would agree. I feel like there has been this shift. And I'm not sure if you have been watching the news or anything like that. Well, a lot of news outlets aren't covering it, but it's regarding, there's a UAP congressional hearing a few weeks ago. The entire thing is surrounding unidentified aerial phenomena that military has come in contact with. And so then, when it comes to that, if I may ask you, I mean, do you believe that there is life outside of Earth? Like, do you believe that there is life in other planets or dimensions, or, are we alone or not?
I do. I absolutely do believe that. I always tell people that, you know what? If a spaceship landed right in front of the White House right now, and they put it on the news, a lot of people are going to say, well, no kidding.
Yeah.
I think a lot
I
of people
agree.
believe it. It's like, yeah, so what? But I guess I
Yeah,
understand the government; they don't want people to panic.
sure.
But
No.
I do believe there are other dimensions, and one crazy, not I shouldn't say crazy theory, but one theory, and I kind of buy into it a little bit. That's why they can't uh, find any evidence of Bigfoot because he just goes from one dimension to the next.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that's where these ghosts are. They're in another dimension, and we can't see them. They're there, but they're just on the other side of the veil.
Yeah. Wow. No, that's so true. That's something that I always wondered. I had the last episode 2 I did with Brittany Barbieri, and we just started, me and Priscilla Stone, she was on episode 1. We just started a new channel. It's called Disclosure Ladies. It's part of Disclosure Team with Vinny Adams. And so, Bigfoot is something that me and Brittany were talking about, and she's a cryptozoologist as well, and she's really studied these things intensely. And so that was something that I have always thought was, if, say Bigfoot, he's really good at playing hide and seek. Like, we definitely know that.
Yes.
So, and I'm sure he didn't have any, or he or she didn't have any problem during COVID. I'm sure they were good because they're already good at hiding. But yeah, so when you said that they're shifting in and out of like different dimensions, like how many possibly could there be that we're kind of in the same, I don't know, I guess level or plane as, or
Well, truthfully, I have many. There's probably many you can go through. I know, there's at least 5, I would say, but I'm sure there's more beyond that. But I don't know.
so yeah, fair enough, like multiple. And why do you think, as far as, if say another being or entity or whatever it may be wanted to cross from one dimension to another one, do you feel or believe, or just your personal thoughts on, do you feel like it happens by accident? Do you feel like it happens very intentionally for certain reasons? How does that shifting from one to the other happen? Is there like intent behind it, or?
I feel it's like almost like yes and no. There may be a tear in the dimension or the
Oh, okay.
curtain, and it just kind of slips through, or we get a little peek in there. But I think sometimes they do intentionally make themselves visible to us, just to let us know that we're here, that they're there.
No, absolutely. That's so cool to think about. You said Bigfoot. You got me all on like a completely different tangent.
It's funny. Yeah, it's funny. I don't know why I heard talk about Bigfoot. I'm like, no, people would think I'm just, I may lose people, but that's okay. That's what I believe, and that's all right.
It's okay with it. Everyone should, and that's one thing that I push with my channel, and anyone that knows me knows that I'm a huge advocate of just letting people be and believe what it is that they want, because that's a personal choice that each and every one of us has. Like, it is that nobody can take that away from you, is your own personal beliefs, and your choice, the choices that you have to believe what you want to believe. And that's
Right.
that's everyone's birthright to have that. And so if anyone tells you not to believe something, just send them into the other dimension, Ricardo. Just
okay.
send them into. I'm just kidding.
No, it's just I think about it's just their opinion, and that's all.
Exactly.
No matter what they say.
Of course.
There's no evidence either for it or against it. Just that's what I think.
Yeah. But sometimes, evidence is like, that's what a lot of people want. And, these unknown things like that we seek. And just, if you've had your own experiences yourself, and, people that have, they don't really need proof. Like, they just already know in their hearts, and just because of what they've gone through and experienced. And but as far as what you have going on, so that people know where to find you. So I know we're both in Raleigh. So tell us a little bit about that for any viewers who may be in Raleigh. Where can they get? So you have Dancing Moon. You said that there's one in Cary as well.
Yes. Actually, you can contact me through my website, healingbyhawkeye.com. And it shows, the locations, and then you can contact me either by email, ricardo@healingbyhawkeye.com, or you can call me up and you can set up an appointment. And, whether any location, is most closest to you or you feel like going to. The one in Cary, it's usually Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. My acupuncturist is kind enough to let me use her office. So
okay. And do you do virtual readings? You do?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's great. Opens it up to everybody then.
Yeah. So I've done it on the phone or on video. Or,
okay. Sure.
And that's 2 ways to get a hold of me.
Yep. So all of that is in the description box, and so you guys can find that. Just go click on whatever you guys want to check out as far as his work. And so I just have one more question before we kind of wrap this up, because I feel like it's a good stopping point. But I did want to ask you about as far as the stones or crystals that you work with, because I also see in your posts that you work with certain crystals. So which ones would you say are your go-to?
Well, we're doing shamanic healing. I have 12 of them. They're makuyas, which are like sacred stones. And what makes them sacred is the intention you put into them. I mean, I got some from Amazon. I found some in a riverbed. I had some laying around previously that I said, okay, these are the ones I want to use to help people. And, and then with the session, the person would hold the stone as they talked about the issue. So I have those, and other ones is like black tourmaline is always good for or keeping negative energy away. Selenite's always good. Clear quartz is always, it's like a general go-to one if you're not sure.
Okay.
Depending on what chakra, I'll use a crystal for those as well.
Yeah.
There's many more, and I just can't remember them right now. My brain locked up. I'll remember it after we're done, I'm sure.
That happens to me all the time. It's like, gosh, I wish I would have just remembered that when I had to pull out the information. Just
right.
So look, you've given me a lot of inspiration, and one thing that I'm gonna do after this is I'm gonna do exactly what you said, to just get into a really calm, space, in a space there that of light that I feel comfortable in, and I'm gonna draw some cards for myself and see what I get. And so as far as doing that, I know I'm supposed to close the deck after, right? Just making sure that I do that. So close the deck and cleanse it as well.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
okay.
Different ways to cleanse it.
Okay, we'll do that. And then I'll see what comes up, and I'll send you a screenshot of it.
Oh.
Yeah, and then maybe I'll tell you what I am, personally, what it is that I got from it. And then, give me your thoughts on it. I think that'd be an interesting little experiment to do after this.
Even if I have a different meaning, that doesn't mean you're wrong. It doesn't mean I'm right.
I'm just gonna whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, and
yeah, exactly.
And I'll definitely make sure that I call on whenever I pray, I call on Archangel Michael as well.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to do this now. I think you've given me that push. And so I just want to thank you again so much for being here and for doing this. And it's just kind of ironic and crazy cool story how this came to be. And so I would love to have you back on in the future. If if there's anything that, if you want to hop on and we can talk about Bigfoot. I mean, anything you want, like anything that interests you. And so you guys follow Rick on Instagram, Healing by Hawkeye. He posts incredible cards, and just like I said, the captions are amazing. So check out his work and make sure to like this video, share it, and hit the notification bell so that you know when Moving Encounters is on live. But so yeah, I mean, that pretty much wraps up this episode. Thank you guys again, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.